All right, welcome to the math lesson for today. We are going to be writing decimals as fractions. Now I know you kind of were on your own yesterday, so I hope everything went well. You watched the lesson video, which was perfect. You were able to do that, or else I would have paused it. But I hope that you did all right on the page. If you were unsure or if you feel a little uncertain at all, take a picture with your device or your parent's phone of the page that you did yesterday. It would have been page 231, and send a picture of that to me either on Edmodo or if they text me, and I'll double check it and we can go back if we need to, okay? How's that sound? So let's go ahead. We're going to move on to the next step in our decimal journey, and we are writing decimals as fractions. If you remember from yesterday, decimals are another way to write fractions. It's like pieces of a puzzle, okay? If you have a 100-piece puzzle, one piece is going to be kind of small, but if you have a 1,000-piece puzzle, one piece is going to be teensy-weensy out of those 1,000 pieces, okay? So decimals and fractions are similar. They're just different ways to say them and write them and use them. So let's do a little review before we begin. We have our decimal point over here. What is the first place to the right of the decimal point? The tenths place. Okay, the tenths place. What is 2 places to the right, or 2 places over? 1, 2. It's the hundredths place. That is correct. Hundred. I'm not spelling it correctly. Hundredths. Okay. And then 1, 2, 3 places over is going to be the thousandths place. Remember, that's thousand with a THS at the end. Good. So writing decimals as fractions. Let's jump right in. To write decimals as fractions, oh, by the way, I'm on page number 233. So if you don't have your math book open to page 230, please. 233, pause, go. Okay, so writing decimals as fractions, I'm in the yellow box up there. Let's go through some of the facts. I might jump around, but that's okay. I'll tell you where I'm at. So fact number 1, since decimals are another way to write fractions, decimals can be written as fractions. So we read 0.1 as 1/10, which is easy to see how it's going to be a fraction, 1/10 or 1/10, okay? See, it's not too hard once you know how to read them both ways, 0.1 or 1/10, okay? 1/10, very good. 0.23 or 0.23 is the same thing as, how many places does it have to the right of the decimal? 2, so it's going to be a hundredth. So it's going to be 23 hundredths, okay? 23 over 100, okay? 23 hundredths. We read both of these the same way. And then over here, 0.476. That has how many places after the decimal point? 1, 2, 3. Back on our handy little review, decimal point, 1, 2, 3. We're working with thousandths. Very good. So this is going to be read 476 thousandths, or 476 thousandths, or 476 over 1,000, okay? So they kind of go hand in hand. Once you learn how to read decimals like that with the tenths, hundredths, thousandths, you're going to be able to use the fractions a lot easier, okay? And I have some tricks to help you with that one. Let's go down to fact number 2 in our yellow box on page 233. To write a tenth as a fraction, just place it over 10. It's really easy. So whenever you have your 0.3, okay, this is the example given, and then we'll do a couple practice examples too. 0.3, there's only how many places after the decimal point? 1. So that means however many places after the decimal point there are, you're going to just add that many zeros with your 1, okay? So it's tenth. How many zeros does a 10 have? 1. How many places after the decimal point? 1, okay? That's an easy way to do it. So you have 3 over 10, or 3 tenths, okay? Let's read down to fact 5 so I can restate that before we go any further. A good rule to remember when writing decimals as fractions is to write as many zeros in the denominator as there are decimal places in the decimal, after the decimal, okay? So you always have the 1 at the beginning, either 10, 100, 1,000, okay, just a 1, that's it, just a 1, easy. So then you have however many places after the decimal point is how many zeros there are going to be on that number, okay? So there's only one place after, 1 0. One place, tenths. 10. Okay, you just kind of have to train your brain like that. So 0.7 is also read as 7/10. Okay, so we know it's going to be a fraction. 7 is going to be the numerator. Okay, your decimal is always going to be the numerator, whatever number is after the decimal point. You don't have to write the decimal point because we're writing it as a fraction instead. So you're just taking the 7, that's becoming your numerator. Our denominator, you have to have the 1 to start the number. Now, is it going to be 10, 100, or 1,000? It's going to be 10, okay, because there's one place after tenths, one place after 1 0, which means 10, 7/10, or 7/10, okay? 0.9, how many places after? 1, which means it's going to be a tenths number, or there's going to be 1 0 in the denominator. 10, what's my numerator? 9, just 9. Easy as that, okay? Very simple. It's all about just counting the numbers after the decimal point, okay? And that's going to help you. With this, I still sometimes write this as a little cheat sheet on my tests or my quizzes whenever I'm doing the work. If I want to make sure I get it right, I write these out, okay? That's okay to do. You can do that to get practice. Make a little chart, hang it in your little learning station to help you, okay? So that's the tenths. Those are easy. The others are just as easy. They just have more numbers to write in. So let's jump down to the hundredths place, okay? So again, the hundredths place is 1, 2 places after the decimal point. So we have 0.31, otherwise known as 31. There's how many places after? 1, 2, 1, 2, 31 hundredths is how else you would say it. My numerator is just going to be these two numbers. Forget the decimal point, just those two numbers. My numerator is 31, okay? 31 over 100 because it's a hundredth. But also we have our 1. How many places? 1, 2. 1, 2 zeros, okay? 0.74, 74 hundredths. There's 2 places after the decimal point. 74 hundredths. 74 is my numerator. What's my denominator? 100. Okay, 1. There's my 1 right there. 1, 2 place after, 1, 2 zeros, okay? Just remember that. However many places is however many zeros. Now this one, remember, we don't have to use that 0 anymore, okay? We have 0.09 is how we say it like that. But it's also 9 hundredths, okay? Not 900, 9 hundredths. There is 1, 2 numbers after the decimal point, even though we don't say the 0 all the time. It's still a number. 1, 2 places after. 1, 2 places after is the hundredth, okay? So it's just going to be 9, because remember, we don't write 0, 9, okay? We don't write 0, 9, so you can just take that 0 away. 9 over 1, how many places after the decimal point? 1, 2. 9 hundredths, or 9 over 100. Okay, let's go down to the thousandths. Let's do the thousandths together. 0.317, there's how many places after the decimal point? 1, 2, 3. 3 places. So we're going to be working 1, 2, 3 with the thousandths. Remember, we just tack it on there as we say it. Forget the decimal point when we're reading it this way. 317 thousandths is correct. My numerator is going to be 317. There's my 1. Okay. 1, 2, 3 places. 1, 2, 3 zeros. Okay. Don't forget your comma. Those are important. 317 thousandths. Okay, is how you say it. Let's do the next one. 0.741 is the first way we say it, or 741 thousandths. Okay, 741 thousandths. It seems like a lot, but that's the other way to say it, okay? Remember, your 741 is the numerator. There's 1, 2, 3 places after the decimal, which means 1, 2, 3 zeros, okay? Last one. Just like what we did with the hundredths, okay, we have some zeros in here at the beginning, all right? So we have 0.009, all right? So we take away the point. We don't need to say the zeros, so it's just 9 over what? 9 over 1,000. There's 1, 2, 3 places after the decimal, so we have our 1, 1, 2, 3 zeros, okay? So 9 over 1,000, or read as 9 thousandths, okay? 9 thousandths. That one's a little tricky to get used to. You're going to do great, I have no doubt. So go ahead, keep your math book open and your pencil open. We are going to go over to the math practice video. So find the math practice video and then we'll do some of these together.